Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I should get better at playing guitar before I start recording stuff. But yeah, so there's so much on my mind today that I figured I'd do this. And so I guess the purpose of this, think about what people's purpose are when they record a podcast. And for me, I love listening to podcasts, just like playing them in the morning while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I really can't stand silence or sitting in silence. And I think it's a problem because I think it's a sign that you're unhappy with yourself and what's going on in your life. And any distraction will do. But yeah, so I think a lot of people record a podcast because they just want to talk about shit, man, and they just want to talk about it. And some people are super funny and they have like very good insight, or they have an experience that's unique, and so they want to share it. But my purpose is really self-serving. Obviously, it would be great if someone listened and contacted me and wanted my help in some kind of way. I think that's the dream. But I think the reason why I do it is because I need to talk about my experience. And it's really hard to find like a dedicated listener. There's so much judgment going on. Like even if there's not judgment on their part, like I'm judging the situation the whole time. So it definitely, in the instances that I have had someone listening while I'm talking, like in like a therapy session or something about my life, it's still like at the front of my brain, thinking about their opinion of me, opinion of the thing, their investment in what I'm saying, or so it really alters with the things that I say, because I think I'm just like such a Libra at heart. Like I'm just a mess. I'm really, but I'm a people pleaser. So I'm really good at, like amending my things I say so that I get the right kind of feedback from who I'm saying it to. So I think with this, that doesn't exist. Like I know nobody's listening. I know, but I'm not just speaking alone to the air. It still feels like this is saved and becomes a thing. The conversation that I have with myself, or the microphone, it becomes a thing, a real thing. So it doesn't vanish after I'm done, like talking. But there's a lot going on in my life right now, and man, it's just unfamiliar territory. Like there's so much happening. When I was young, I never had a girlfriend in high school. I never wanted a girlfriend in high school, and I never felt any real feelings about anybody in high school. I just wanted, I'd have crushes and stuff, and it sounds really shitty to say, but I never had any problems really with like getting, having girls' attention. I never really had any problems with that. I think my real problems were how to deal with that, because I was so self-conscious. I had self-confidence issues. So, but I think girls helped me with that. And, I needed their approval and stuff. And, once I lost my virginity, I used sex as a way to, almost like a drug, as a way to escape, or a way to connect with somebody when I emotionally felt like I couldn't connect with people. I really didn't understand my friends who had girlfriends and would say stuff like they love each other, because I just didn't feel those feelings towards anyone. And to the point where after high school, I thought that I was like incapable of feeling love, or that maybe love was just not a real thing, like something people just say. So I had no experience with it, and I'm sure that's typical for a lot of people until they experience what love is. But I ended up falling in love by accident, and that's a silly thing to say, because I think that's how people fall in love in general. It's not like it's a goal always to fall in love and have it happen. But my best friend in high school was a girl named Faye Schmitter, and yeah, she became my best friend. But I spent so much time with her, like hanging out at her house and stuff, and sleeping over. I was just so close to her, and there was no attraction. I was just not attracted to her in that way. And but we spent so much time together, and she was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, she is beautiful. And then all of a sudden, after like 3 or 4 years of being friends with her, I think I was like 20 or 19, and I all of a sudden fell in love with her. Like, I think it was a party, like her birthday party maybe, and I ended up kissing her. And yeah, all these feelings happened, and it was the first time I ever fell in love. And it changed my approach to women in general, or to relationships in general, from that moment on, feeling love. So, like I always thought, like, I had a lot of trouble in high school. Like, if I was hooking up with some girl and then hooking up with somebody else, they would get upset, and I just didn't feel like the need to be loyal until I fell in love with Faye, and I realized what that is, like betrayal and all that stuff. And yeah, and then she cheated on me her senior year in high school, and I was already out of high school. And I gotta be honest, I never felt jealousy. Like, I don't feel jealous feelings. Like, still to this day, I have a thing. I just can't feel those feelings. I get envious, but not in that way. I felt it was really like paint by numbers. She hooked up with this guy, or had slept with this guy, and I knew that I had to react, because that's what people do. So I ended up like fighting this guy and everything, but only because on paper that's what you're supposed to do, not because I had real rage over it. Because I know shit happens, and like people connect. Sometimes people have a deep connection for 12 minutes, and then it's over, and that's it. And I don't think that means that whatever person that they have a deeper connection and a more lasting connection with, I don't think it means that they're less, that I don't think it diminishes that connection too much. But of course, when you bring people into it and their minds and their brains, then yes, it does, because people do feel betrayed, and they feel like they're loved less if the person they love connects with somebody else, briefly even. So, but with Rachel, it was so much different. She was the first person I was in love with before getting to know her. I just loved her from day one. It was really love at first sight for me. And she was in a relationship at the time for about a year with this other guy that I didn't really know. He was kind of like a myth. He had worked at the same place at the pub, but he was away in Africa, so he was like some kind of myth or legend. Like, he had worked there for so long, but that was her boyfriend. And I remember meeting him for the first time, and just that whole year I was in love with Rachel. I never thought I had a chance with her. Obviously, I've told the story a million times, but in the first few years was like, yeah, we were in love, and I had felt that feeling before with other girlfriends, But of course, this was like way more intense for me because it was just, she was everything. I had no doubts and everything. But the thing is, our love grew in these levels. I wish we had a chance to have kids together, because I think that, I think that's something, I think that it brings you to another level that we didn't get to experience. But we also experienced the level that happens when you know your time is limited and that one of you is dying. We just went onto a whole another planet of love. Because I don't think love is just the magic that happens when you're attracted to somebody and you care about somebody. And that's why I don't understand divorce, really, because I think all that happens when people are saying we fell out of love, or I'm sure that does really happen. You fall out of love, but the whole in love magic thing that some people say, well, we fell out of love, meaning like that magic was gone. You can go to a better and bigger place, and that's what happened with me and Rachel. I think we remained in love. It's very rare, but the reward comes from two people who push past that point and stay together no matter what, and they don't think about like, well, I'm not happy, or they're not happy, or someone's not happy, or we're both not happy. Then address why, maybe. And if it has to do with like, well, I want to explore other people, then maybe allow that to happen. I'm not big on like the whole open relationship thing, but I'm big on like, if you really love somebody and they need to do something with someone, and they tell you, it doesn't mean I don't love you, I just need to experience it, then let it happen. Whatever it may be. I need to like start, smearing lasagna all over my face on Tuesdays at 6:30. It's just something I want to explore. And if you love them, you'll let them explore that, But, so it's been a year without her, and it's been just like the most brutal year of my life, man. Just fucking brutal. Like, just brutal. I miss her so much. And it just doesn't end. Like, it just doesn't fade or get any better. I fucking miss her, man. And not only miss her, I think about what she went through and how hard it was for her. And I still don't think she deserved that. And I still haven't come to terms with what happened. I think I've made amends with the universe in a lot of ways. Like, I understand how this could happen to a person, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't make me not believe in God. If anything, it makes me believe in God more. But anyways, like, I met